Hey, welcome to World Entertainment, and I'm sure by now we've all seen the video of Alan Richardson beating the ever-loving Jesus out of his neighbour because he was riding his motorbike around the street, and apparently the neighbour says he was going at excessive speeds and didn't care a jot in the world and just all this, and for no reason decided to confront the neighbour and beat the hell out of him. And of course we see the video. Now, you're going to be seeing the video as we're talking here, so you can see it here where, yeah, you're just seeing Alan Richardson beating the hell out of the guy. And the two kids there, that's his kids. Alan Richardson's kids. So this big house with the black Jeep in it, that's the neighbour's house. The motorbike in front of his house that's parked, that's also that neighbour's bike. So it doesn't look great for Reacher. You see one of the kids reacting to the neighbour's coming back for more by the looks of it, you know, all this stuff, and it's like, what the hell exactly happened? And of course this neighbour is the one that's coming out and saying how much of a victim he is, that for no reason, you know, Alan Richardson's been causing a problem on the bike, that he's going too fast and stuff like this and all of this crap. And he tried to ask him, hey, could you please slow it down and have some respect and stuff like this, and out of nowhere Alan Richardson beats the hell out of him for doing so. Except that's not exactly what happened. Now, this is the one thing I hate about videos like this and stories like this, which is also why I didn't cover it when it came out, because there's nothing worse than seeing a video halfway through, or even more so near the end, when you don't know what exactly ignited the very thing you're seeing. The first question I had was, if the guy is from that big house over there, how the hell did he end up on the grass on the opposite side of Alan Richardson's bike with Alan Richardson hitting him? Well, we now have the full video. And no, not conveniently from the neighbour who conveniently didn't record the whole thing, but from Alan Richardson's point of view, because he had a GoPro on. Don't know whether the neighbour knew this or not, but he had a GoPro on. Now, we're going to have a look at that video as well, and there's music on it which you're not going to hear. We'll have it all muted and all that kind of stuff, but you can see he's driving here. Now, the one thing keep in mind is he said he was going excessive, but as you can see, the guy steps out in front of him. Reacher, or Alan Richardson, falls off his bike, and then this guy pushes him. So he pushes him back. Now the guy's on the ground, gets up, and he keeps telling him to hit him. He's like, go on, hit me, hit me. So you can see the confrontation. This guy starts it. The neighbour actually is the one who started it. He stepped out deliberately in front of Alan Richardson, made him fall off his bike, pushed Alan Richardson, so Richardson pushes him back. Now you can see they're having this conversation, they're arguing with one another. Now he's going over to pick up his bike. You notice the bike isn't where it is in the other video, where this house in front of us is where that recording came from. You can also see very nice houses all around, so it's obviously an estate with money. But here's Alan Richardson. He's over here. He's not even engaging with the neighbour physically or anything like that. So he's back on the bike now. So the neighbour is the one who starts this. Now remember, he said he was going excessive speeds. And yet, when you're watching this video in particular, and you look at the speed dial, it never goes over 25 miles per hour. So now he's going to drive away. As we're seeing, now the bike is out here in the middle of the road where we see it from the other video. And the neighbour is still there. Still standing in front of him. Still getting in his face. Pushes him again by the looks of it. So, that's it. It's go time. Now you're getting your ass handed to you. So, you've been egging him on all this time. And now you're getting the bejesus kicked out of you because of it. Now, Richardson should have known better, especially with his kids there. There's no defending that. He should have known better, but as you can see, where the neighbour was like, oh, he did it out of absolutely nowhere and all this stuff, no, there was issues there. The neighbour stood in front of him, made him fall off the bike. The neighbour then pushed him first. He pushed him back. Richardson then got back onto his bike, and the neighbour, still in his face, pushed him again. And then Richardson got off and hit him. So when you're looking at all of this, it's kind of like, yeah, the neighbour is in the wrong. Now, Richardson's in the wrong as well. And the one thing you'll be told and see when it comes to, and that's pretty much all there is in that video, so they just drive off. But one thing, after watching so many of the police body cam videos, you should know bits about the law. And one of the things is, your self-defense argument is fine when the person's in your face, like the neighbour is there, and you strike him once. Once he's on the ground, if you strike him again, then you got an issue. And of course, Richardson does strike him a couple of more times when he's on the ground. So the threat has been eliminated, but you continued. But the neighbour has also now put out a video to TMZ, the trash rag, to kind of try and make himself even more of a victim, because he probably doesn't know this video was going to come out, where he's basically saying how much he tried to just reason with Richardson. So let's have a listen to what he says, shall we? So here is what the neighbour said. Have a listen to this.
It started on Saturday morning and I'm an experienced motorcycle rider. I've been riding bikes all my life. So, from dirt bikes to street bikes and etc. But I'd heard this incestuous revving and speeding through our neighborhood of the motorcycle. I eventually saw the guy on Saturday. I didn't know who it was. And I sort of like flippantly sort of said, "Guy, like he was quite away." And I said, "Can you just slow it down, please?" And then there are numerous people in my neighborhood who caught all of this on Ring doorbells of him speeding through the neighborhood. And on Sunday, when I was cleaning my bike outside my house, he rode past once, twice, and on the second time, I walked out in front of him and I said, "You've got to stop. Someone's going to get hurt." And it escalated quite quickly from there. I did push him because he was coming towards me on his bike. He did it again for a second time. I pushed him a second time. And I think the second time he got off his bike and it kicked the crap out of me. And you can see he hit me in the back of my head. I went to the ground and covered myself. I've had such a shitty day today, and I don't wish the guy any malice or ill will, but we just don't need people riding through neighborhoods like this. And I just decided, I'm take a stand because someone else has to, because it's going to end up way worse than it could.
So you're hearing him there. I've been an expert rider for 20 plus years, blah, blah, blah. I stepped out in front of him and asked him, "Hey, could you please stop it?" And then he tried to move forward, so I pushed him. And then he pushed me again. And then the second time he got off his bike. That's not what happened at all, is it, Sunshine? No. You stepped out in front of his bike and made him crash because Alan Richardson fell off the bike. By the way, he also injured himself. Then you physically pushed him first. Then he pushed you back and you egged him on to hit you. Richardson got back onto his bike and was going to drive away, and you continued the confrontation, walked up, got into his face once again, and pushed him again. And that's when he got off the bike and bet the shit out of you. So the argument here is, who's in the right and who's in the wrong? The answer is simple. They're both in the wrong. Once again, Richardson shouldn't have hit the guy. That's, there's no ifs, buts, ands about that. He shouldn't have hit the guy. But at least the first hit, he was justified because the guy pushed him. It's once he's on the ground, that's where the issue comes in, that he continued hitting him. Now, granted, he only hit him another 3-4 times, but at the same time, shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have hit him at all, especially in front of his kids. But the fact that this guy is like, I stepped out in front of him and asked him politely, "Hey, could you please, stop? Somebody's going to get hurt." Even though this video clearly shows as well, the Alan Richardson side of it, that he never went over 25 miles per hour. So when the cops investigate this, which they're doing, number one is his speed gauge will show that he wasn't over 25 miles per hour at the time of this incident. It'll also show that the neighbor was the aggressor. The neighbor made Richardson crash the bike, assaulted Richardson first. The only problem Richardson has is that he assaulted the guy once he was on the ground. That is the only part that he will be in trouble for. And by trouble, they don't mean jail time or anything like that. He's going to get a slap on the wrist and a fine. That's it. He'll be told, apologise to the guy, maybe pay him some cash or something. Probably not that, but he'll pay a fine. That's it. That's all he'll get. But the fact that all these videos are coming out and the neighbour is sitting here and trying to paint himself as the absolute victim of this heinous attack from Alan Richardson. Oh my God, Reacher bet me up for no reason. And conveniently leaving now, I walked out in front of him, I made him crash, and I assaulted him not once but twice. Second time was when he was trying to leave the situation. That is where the neighbour is screwed. But what do you guys think of all this? Because I suppose Reacher is gonna Reacher, and he Reachered. So let us know what you think about all this. Who do you think is in the wrong? Do you think they're both in the wrong? They're both idiots in this situation, but you know, tempers flared. Could have been handled a hell of a lot better. If the guy had that much of an issue, he should have phoned the cops and said this guy's gone around on the bike, rather than stepping in front of the guy. So let us know what your feelings are on this. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like and share and subscribe and hit that hype button and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.